On the occasion of his 100th birthday, His Holiness Dr. Syedna Muhammad Burhanuddin announced the establishment of a third campus of Aljamea-tus-Saifiyah in Nairobi, Kenya. Although temporary settings accommodated the classes which commenced 20 days after the announcement, for the design of the new permanent campus, an architectural competition was organized in which the winning team from New York and Chicago best met Syedna's mandate for an educational campus that embodied Fatimi architecture and thought and incorporated aspects of contemporary design. After a year of intense planning, meetings with Al-Jamia leadership, visits to India and Egypt for inspiration, and discussions with Al-Jamia's Quranic Arts Department, students and faculty, a master plan that represented both the Academy's history and legacy as well as its aspirations and hopes for the future was finalized and readied for construction. Spread over 12 acres, the 18 buildings of the campus offer more than 900,000 square feet of carpet area. The campus comprises of a masjid, a large ceremonial hall known as al-Burhani, a dining hall and kitchen referred to as the MAWAID, a library, a 700-seat auditorium, a dedicated building for Quranic studies called the Mahad-al-Zahra, 4 academic blocks, an administrative wing and maintenance facilities, and separate male and female residences with a combined capacity for nearly 1,000 students. Masjid al-Zahra is the first in the world to be built entirely on the pattern of Al-Jamia al-Anwar. The masjid's interiors and exteriors, specifically the mihrab and the main facade's portal, twin minarets, timber beams fixed to the ceiling, and iconic pomegranate-shaped column capitals and bases are all inspired by the millennium-old place of worship. Like worshippers behind the imam leading congregational prayer, the masjid is situated in front of all campus buildings, which are all oriented towards the Qibla. To reflect the importance of the Holy Quran in Islamic education, the Mahad al-Zahra was made the primary point of entrance to the campus. Modeled after the Fatimi gate of Bab al-Nasr, the gate's stone motifs are replicated in glass frit on a striking wall of architectural glazing. Behind the glass facade stands the Ma'had's grand octagonal qa'at, which radiates like a multifaceted, shining jewel inside a protective glass box. In an educational context, the use of entrances symbolizes the process of seeking knowledge and submitting to those who possess it. 2 gates flank the Mahad al-Zahra building and are the primary entrance routes into the campus for daily use. These gates are replicas of Bab al-Tawfiq, the Fatimi gate of divine inspiration. Their presence at the threshold of the campus highlights that it is divine inspiration which opens the doors to wisdom and knowledge. At the center of the campus, immediately south of the masjid, lies the SAHAT or central courtyard, which is designed to recall the iconic courtyards of the Jami' masjids of Mahdiyya and Al-Qahira. The buildings surrounding the SAHAT form the sacred or central core of the campus and provide its most formal spaces. Al-IWAN al-BURHANI is a large, central double-heighted space supported on a series of balustered columns and scalloped or cusped arches. A hand-carved wooden baitak adorns the main wall, which is inspired by a haveli in Jamnagar, India, where His Holiness's ancestors would conduct sessions of learning. The architecture of Nairobi Jamia's MAWAID, named MAWAID BADRIYYA, is inspired by the mausoleum in Jamnagar where Sayyidna Ismail Badruddin has been laid to rest. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had a profound love for dates and revealed a number of their nutritional and medicinal benefits. The columns of Nairobi MAWAID are fashioned after date palm trunks. their fronds portrayed as arabesque motifs in the ceiling, while lighting fixtures represent date bunches. The Nairobi Jamia Library has been designed to optimize both space and students' time. The 4-level structure houses books and reference materials towards the center of the building, while reading rooms, study areas, auxiliary spaces, and administrative offices are placed at the ends. The Du'at Mutlaqeen of Yemen are especially known for their endeavors in the composition of texts and manuscripts which capture the essence of the Fatimi faith. To celebrate their contributions towards the preservation of Dawat's literary legacy, the library design incorporates an inclined wall of architectural glazing on the western facade inspired by Kahf al-Na'im, the alcove of bounties, in the mountain village fort of Hutayb al-Mubarak in Yemen. A picturesque image of the cove and its surrounding mountains has been reproduced through frit on the glass's surface. The location and design language of Aljamea-tus-Saifiyah's auditorium shed light on the purpose behind the construction of one of East Africa's grandest auditoriums. The facade's easily recognizable hexagonal pattern is inspired by the beehive. Inside, the auditorium hall is clad with wooden hexagonal boxes that assist in acoustics but also resemble the bark of a palm tree, another motif that features widely throughout the campus. Aljamea-tus-Saifiyah Nairobi's nearly 50 classrooms are divided between 4 academic buildings, each designed around a central landscaped courtyard. The academic blocks feature central amphitheaters, outdoor garden classrooms, and student lounges. The mosaic walls in the stairwells are inspired by Kenyan tribal fabrics, a tribute to Kenya and a reminder to students of the importance of contributing to the cultural fabric of their home countries through knowledge and action. 2 smaller buildings at the opposite ends of the campus accommodate the administrative and service needs of Aljamea-tus-Saifiyah. The elevations of both the administrative and utility buildings are inspired by the savannas of Kenya. The vertical fins on the facades are representative of the long blades of the savanna grass. At Aljamea-tus-Saifiyah, living at the on-campus residences is not only an integral part of the overall experience, but is an essential element of the educational process. A sports and recreation center is immediately adjacent to both the female and male residences where students can swim, exercise, play in the game room, or just relax on the center's large roof garden. One of the most defining characteristics of Aljamea-tus-Saifiyah Nairobi's campus is its landscaping. The Aljamea campus, with its greenery and gardens, emphasizes the heavenly origin of knowledge and encourages students to cultivate their own thoughts and ideals so they are a source of beauty, comfort, and insight for themselves and others. A walk through the campus of Aljamea-tus-Saifiyah Nairobi is a journey through the history of the Fatimi civilization and the Dawoodi Bohra community. A journey spanning over a millennium of tradition and faith. The ebb and flow of knowledge, in its most holistic sense, leaves an impression upon thoughtful observers as they ponder the architecture that surrounds them. There is an unspoken transcendental quality that goes well beyond the stone, mortar, and physicality of its edifices. The campus is a tribute to His Holiness Dr. Syedna Muhammad Burhanuddin, who led the Dawoodi Bohra community for over 50 years. His period of leadership saw a sea change in the community's material and spiritual fortunes. The Nairobi campus of Aljamea-tus-Saifiyah, an institution he personally nourished for half a century, is an embodiment of him and his achievements. The memory of Sayyidna Burhanuddin Ridwanullahi alayhi and the values and ideals he espoused live in the architecture and design of its buildings, and more importantly, in the hearts, thoughts, and actions of the faculty and students who occupy them.